Oh boy, what a long day. Sure, I'm ready to go home.
Hi, do you know about breaking and entering?
Come in. Are you talking about the music website where I can find all of Milwaukee's music in one place?
Yep.
And that means anything I want?
Yep.
Pop?
Yep.
Rock?
Mm-hmm.
R&B?
Yep.
Folk?
Yep.
Indie?
Yep.
Hip-hop?
Of course.
Norwegian death metal?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Uh-huh.
Now get out.
Wait, what?
Breaking and Entering, the Milwaukee music website for you.
Welcome to another edition of Mr. Nice Guy. I'm Ben Slowey. Today I have one of my favorite creatives in the entire city on the show today.
Me already, dude. It's been a long day. I appreciate that though.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you.
We have Shle Berry. And I had to wear the hat specifically.
You
for
wear
this
it all the
episode.
time anyway. You
I
be
do.
repping hard.
I
I appreciate
do.
that a lot.
Well, it's cozy.
Thank you.
Keeps my head warm. And yeah, so I get a lot of compliments for like the 3D effect on it. Which I didn't.
Whoa, it's really trippy.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it until someone pointed it out. Actually.
It is. It kind of makes your eyes trip a little bit, but it's cool.
Yeah. Who designed it?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
Just overlaying color schemes, and it's like, yeah, that kind of gives a 3D effect. Let's just run with it. And it kind of fit the colors of the Parallels thing, so.
Oh yeah.
It
True.
kind of just made sense.
Yeah, so we'll take this opportunity to plug a couple things. Shle's latest EP, Parallels, it's streaming everywhere. Her recent song with Niall, Bloom, just came out a couple of weeks ago. Or
When did that come out?
it was
It
like
came out like
February?
maybe it did come out in February,
Damn.
like late February.
Damn near 2 months ago. I
It's
don't
been
know.
out for a while.
Yeah, it still feels like it just came out.
Well, we're already at end of April.
I know, but we are getting a snowstorm tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why we have to drink. We
That
need to
is
forget
exactly
about
why I
that.
need to cope with it.
Right, exactly.
So,
I know. Cheers. So, also want to point out, Parallels has the song, the not vulgar or obscene song at all, sugar-free.
no, I don't swear at all on that song.
No.
Very kid friendly,
Yeah, quite.
radio friendly.
Yeah, you know, it kicks off just right.
People
That is a really fucking great song, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to, so what I talk about on Mr. Nice Guy, I bring creatives onto the show to discuss love and fear, and
Ooh.
I love talking to recording artists about it because it's like everything that you're putting out feels right to you, and it's true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's your truth, and you use words, you use verses, you use your flow as a way to convey a message.
Yes.
And love and fear, obviously, like those are two heavy driving forces into how you express
And
yourself.
there's such a thin line too. Very thin line.
Yeah, so like, and you like, and I know that you've also come a really long way with your artistry, because like you started rapping you started performing like 2012, 20.
Yeah, I started performing like 4 years ago, like live. That was a shit show. I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Dude. It was it's the Cooperage now, but it used to be called the Hot Water Warehouse. And I was booking through Afton. And I remember them reaching out to me, and I thought it was a joke, so I ignored it.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone's not asking me to perform. Like, it's
Yeah.
not that, I'm not that, no.
Right.
And then I was asking one of my buddies how he was getting performances. He's like, oh, I go through Afton. And I was like, fuck, I feel like an asshole that I like skipped it.
Yeah.
But then I reached out, and they're like, yeah, we'll do this thing, and the more people you get to come, the more you get paid. And I was like, okay, that seems fair.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better booking yourself or knowing people that book instead of going through like a corporation like that.
Like an agency.
Yeah, I didn't like that. It didn't feel good.
Sure.
You got like blacklisted if you didn't bring enough people and stuff like that. And I was like, it was not a good experience. And maybe it changed. Maybe it was just the guy that I worked with, not bad mouthing that company at all. But if you can do something yourself, you definitely should.
Sounds like how insurance companies or you get like penalized if like you don't have insurance.
It's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
always
it's like,
thought-
oh, well, now you're not going to get these certain shows because you can't prove that you brought people. And I'm like, I'm new. I don't know what. No one cares about me yet. So.
Well, you clearly did because you do.
I worked on it. So.
Yeah. Right. You perfected your craft, and you're out performing shows relatively frequently.
Yeah.
My first time seeing Shle perform was at the Tonic Tavern about 2.5, almost 3 months ago.
That's when you got the hat.
That's when I got the hat,
dude.
and I was brought on stage, and I chugged a beer.
You did.
And it was
You
great.
took it like a champ.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Got a little ovation.
Yeah, dude.
And that was super fun. It was cool to because I had listened to your EP before, but it was great to see it translated to a live setting because there's a lot of live vicious energy on Parallels, and it's just cool to personify that,
It is.
Yeah.
Performing is the reward for me. It's I deal with a lot of, any artist knows you deal with self-doubt on a regular basis because you're like, I like this song, I think it's cool, but does that mean that it's cool?
Right.
I deal with that a lot. But all the bullshit goes away when you're up on stage and you hear people saying the words to your songs. You're just kind of like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. This feels good. So
Yeah. Or when you see someone using a lyric of yours as a caption.
yeah, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Man, I'm making an impact out here.
Yeah, and I just give a little wink emoji,
Yeah.
it's super subtle, no one
Right.
knows.
You're like, hey, I see you.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's super dope. Did you did you grow up thinking you wanted to be doing this, you wanted to be out performing and being a hip hop artist?
Honestly, I guess I don't know when all of a sudden the light switch turned on and it was kind of like, okay,
Right.
I think this could actually be a thing. It's funny, I was just talking to a couple of my guys about it, but you always think you're taking it seriously, but you don't know what that actually means,
Mhm.
right? Working hard is relative.
Yeah.
It's a spectrum.
Sure.
And I think everyone thinks that they work hard, but I think it shows
Yeah.
if you do or don't. Because
Totally.
the harder you work, the luckier you get.
And hard work is also by no means synonymous with talent. Which
No.
I think some people also misconstrue that too, where they think just because they're good at something, it means they don't have to work as hard as.
Right.
And while that may be true to an extent, you may not have to do this or that other people might have to, depending on
Sure.
natural
Yep.
talent or resources. But if you have something but you don't apply it, then no one's gonna know who you are.
No, and obviously we're all independent artists in the city, and I think people have this notion that if you make good music, you should just get offered opportunities, and it's out of my pie piece, that if I took a pie and I was like, okay, this is my music career, I'd say 20% of it is making music.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that I do that I consider work.
Mm-hmm.
There's sending emails on my own PR, trying to get people to a show. It's not just, oh, I'm just gonna post this on Instagram and then people come.
Hell no.
I bug the hell out of people.
Yeah.
When I have shows, I hit up 100, 200 people and I get a list, and then it's okay, here's the list of people that said maybe. I'm hitting them up again.
Yeah.
All 100 of the people that said maybe, I'm hitting them up again.
Spreadsheet.
And they're oh, I'll get back to you on Tuesday. So I'm hit up on Tuesday, and I hit them back up on Tuesday. And getting people to shows takes me hours.
Oh man.
Hours. It's not just, hey, Instagram, Facebook, I got this thing, I'm pretty cool, you should come.
And everyone's
people don't care.
oh cool, yeah.
People do not care.
No.
They want to be personally invited,
Yeah.
and that takes time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember because I used to work with a recording studio my senior year of college, and we used to self-promote our shows. We would, we had a Miramar show, and it was me and a couple of my friends, our job was to sell tickets.
Yep.
And we did exactly what you mentioned, is constantly hitting people up, bothering them, pestering
reminding
them,
over and over
making
and over.
making that spreadsheet like.
But then once people come, you gotta kill it.
Yeah.
It's like I have to prove that this was worth their time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only just getting the opportunity. It's like once you get it, you gotta kill it.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna work better in my favor if someone talks about it and like, yo, I had a lot of fun at the show. That spreads faster than me trying to get people there on my own. They're like, oh yeah, we should definitely go. Shle shows are always a fun time. That's marketing all on its own. So you gotta kill it.
Mm-hmm. It's otherwise it's a law of diminishing returns.
Correct.
Where it's like, if you bring some friends out to a show and they have like an okay time or they have no idea what's going on, then their willingness to return on their own dollar and spend money
It's not gonna happen.
No, it's not.
Especially because a lot of the shows that we do in the city, there's a price. Not saying it's a lot, but if I can spend $10 going somewhere and have fun, I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna come to the show and sit through something that it's almost painful to sit through.
Right, yes.
And I've had to go through that. I had a lot of shitty shows, and it was like, so I started going to a lot of them. I was like taking notes. It's almost painful now. I can't even enjoy a show because I'm always analyzing. I'm like, oh, I really like that they did that. Oh, I'm not sure if I really feel that. Oh, look how the crowd reacted to this.
Right.
It's like everything is
It's
constant study.
It's crazy. It's cool that you have that analytical sort of way of looking at it, and you do like that's a skill I feel you really need as an artist, especially one that performs live and is focusing on garnering a fan base, because you need to know what the crowd reacts to.
Public service, stop rapping over your own vocals. Please stop. The thing is, if I wanted to listen to that verbatim, I could have saved $10 and just listened to it in the car.
Yeah.
I want an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not giving me an experience when you're rapping over your own vocals.
Right.
If you need live mixes, just send me your tracks and I'll help you. Just stop rapping over your vocals.
You heard it from the GOAT.
Please stop, please.
Yeah. Well, I have actually heard, I've been hearing people saying that. So you're not like...
I used to, right? When I didn't know what the hell I was doing, I was like, I don't know what a show mix is. Like, I went through the growing pains for sure, but...
I think it's also, going back to, like, getting people out to your shows, it takes a lot of self-discipline, too. Because you're going to have people that let you down. You're going to have... Friends that
Friends who like are like, I care about you, I support you 100%, and all of a sudden you put them in this, like, position to be like, okay, here's your chance.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then that hurts, man.
It stings.
It does. I have people who don't know me vouch for me harder than some of my best friends. And I'm like, fuck, that does not feel good.
Yeah, same thing with this show. I've had people that don't even know me, like, that I've never met in person, like, say that they've, like, watched episodes and enjoyed it. And, I'm sure there's friends of mine that have never watched an episode. And that's okay. I don't necessarily expect them to. It'd be nice if they did.
Yeah.
But, like...
The shitty part about that, though, is then, like, I had a really cool, like, end of 2018. A lot of things happened to me that I wasn't expecting, very grateful for. And then all of a sudden, those same people come around and like, oh, yeah, I know Shle, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can move aside.
You know Ashley.
Yeah, like, you don't
know
claim,
Shle.
Yeah, you don't get to all of a sudden claim that you know me when it's convenient, because it seems cool now. Yeah, like, you weren't fucking with me this whole time.
Right.
And now that I look cool to certain people, like, oh, yeah, me and Shle go way back. No, we don't.
No. Yeah, not anymore.
No.
It's like people who hop on a political candidate just because, like, they hop on a cause just because, like, it looks good for, like, clout, or it looks good because everyone else is, like, supporting this now. It's like, but your past actions don't necessarily, like...
Right, you don't believe in the cause at all.
Yeah, they don't reflect that at all. It's just, you're just trying to look good.
Right.
Totally. And it's kind of a learning curve. And it's also, it humbles you to be telling people to come out to this, please support me, and if they're not receptive to that, it just...
It sucks performing in front of nobody.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
I believe, have you, like, Have you experienced shows like
Oh yeah,
that?
big time.
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta like just deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's just part of the come up of figuring this out. And
But you still got to give it your all.
you do. You're like, how do we still make this fun? And you just figure it out.
Yeah.
But you need that to like humble yourself. It's like, look, you really ain't shit. So get back to work.
Right, right, yeah.
You aren't shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Niall because he actually, I talked to him after the 414 Day show a couple weeks ago, and like when I was interviewing him because I wrote an article on breaking and entering, and he said that like about how it's like whether you're performing to 2 or 10 or 200 people, you're giving it your all. Like you have
Those 2 people could all of a sudden spread your music to 10, right? Like, and if you give a lazy performance, they're not going to vouch for you.
Yeah, who knows? That 1 or 2 people in that crowd might be like...
That's all you need.
They might be a writer for some big-ass magazine that just happens to be catching one of your shows, or they might know somebody that can really fucking help you.
Yes.
But, yeah, so that's, it's...
You only get one first impression.
Yeah, that's super valid.
It's stressful, but...
Mm.
Because, I'm human at the end of the day, and I think about that a lot. Like, and I hope this doesn't come across arrogant under any means, but I was at Cops. It must have been closer to last summer, and I'm, like, ordering ice cream with my girlfriend. And one of the cashiers was like, hey, I really like your music.
Mm.
And I was like, holy shit. But I could have been in a bad mood that day acting like an asshole in Cops, and that would be her perception of me. So, like, I go out in public, and I'm like, I can't be a fuck, because that could be someone's first impression of me as an artist.
Yeah.
I mean, there are days when I am a fuck. But
Yeah, we all have
I
those days.
try to be aware of it, that you're giving an impression for people.
That man. And if I walked into Cops and someone was like, man, Mr. Nice Guy, I love your show, be like...
You shit your pants,
Shit,
man.
yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, it was
like,
cool.
Damn, they're gonna start getting burgers and shakes here every day.
And I'm sure people see me and they just don't. She had the balls to say something.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've seen people when I like first started making music. I'd see like.
Oh my God,
so,
that's Shle Berry.
Yeah, and I'd be like, oh my God, that's so and so, but I didn't have the balls to say anything. And you don't know who's watching you.
It's like when I first met you actually at the 88.9. The Radio Milwaukee Awards was the first time we had connected on social media, but I hadn't met you.
Oh yeah, we were waiting in the lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you're Shle Berry, aren't you? And we just started talking about, and this was before any of this stuff happened, and I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of like who I am, what I want to do, and like you told me about like what you do, and that your music was out on Spotify, and like that was, it's like I wouldn't have known who you were if it's like I know who that is like in real life. Like I've seen you, but
It's different meeting someone in person.
yeah.
Social media, you can hide behind the mask.
A keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's never been also like just never is a challenge to me. It's like if I see someone virtually, I have like virtually no comfort zone anymore with just going out and being like, oh hey, like I know who you are.
Right.
I'm friends with you on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. And that's always the it feels so uncomfortable when you'll see someone and you can kind of tell that there's like this weird energy and you're like, okay, I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
And then they'll hit you up later like, oh, I saw you at the mall.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just come say hi?
Really? Yeah. Why did you have to keep glancing?
Yeah, like why'd you make it weird?
Yeah. So, yeah, totally. So like you you put out a lot of singles last year. I know that Parallels was your second EP. Your first one was Yellow Streak.
Yeah.
What was that? You still perform songs off that these days?
Depends on the show. I try to curate
Nice.
the crowd,
Right. There you
the
go.
vibe.
Bring people some throwbacks, but still
Yeah.
let them know like what's going on now.
Yes. That's hard too because I have fans that are like, oh, I really like this old song. Can you play that one? And it's hard because it's like I want people to get my newest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this balance of like trying to please your old fans but also trying to make new ones. There's like this very thin line.
Right.
It's hard to balance sometimes.
Yeah, some of your old songs might be written at a completely different time in your life, and those emotions, for all we know, could be dead.
Yeah.
Those.
A lot of times that is the case.
Yeah, I've heard of musicians that they can't bring themselves to play old songs anymore because.
Well, it's like when I get 20 minutes to impress a crowd, it's like I gotta give them my best shit, and that's hard because it's like I know you guys like my old stuff,
Yeah.
but I have all this new
Right.
stuff trying to promote my album.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta understand
Totally.
to some degree.
Also is the cover art for Bloom. That's Mitchell Park Domes.
Yes.
Great place. Great date spot.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't been in there since I was a kid. I'm like, man, this place is like actually really fucking cool. I should go there more.
You
I don't know if they're gonna
appreciate-
stay.
Yeah, I heard that something was going on with like
They
the.
might take it down,
I hope not.
which is sad.
Yeah.
It's like a staple in Milwaukee.
I know. Yeah.
So,
Also, yeah, just your Parallels cover art is really awesome. We're like with those like lights with you like up front. Like who did that for you?
so Sam Organi took the shot.
Shout out Sammer.
That's my boy.
Sammer's the fucking man.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
Hit him up if you need a photo shoot. Anyway,
Yeah, right.
so I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know how to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So we all woke up at like 6 in the morning. I went and got coffee and donuts, and we went to my buddy Junior. That's Gonzalez Visuals for anyone that
Oh, shout out to him
has that type of stuff.
Yeah.
We went into his basement. We set up a black backdrop. The ceilings are like 9 feet high, so we're like, you know.
Yeah.
It looks like we're in this like really open area. We're not like crammed in this little corner. And we weren't even sure if we wanted smoke. We weren't really sure how we were going to set up the lights. It was just kind of like, let's just shoot and let's see where it goes.
Mhm.
We didn't get the shot until like 1 p.m.
Wow.
So we were shooting pictures and video for like 6 hours.
Damn.
Finally got it, and it was just like, I knew immediately when I saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I think we got it.
How do you feel like speaking of like just cover art in general, like what does it take for you to like kind of decide on stuff like that? Just kind of
Sam and I talk a lot about this because we've started this thing where like we just don't put any words on the cover. It's like just let the picture speak for itself.
Mhm.
And he's done a great job collaborating with me on helping bring my vision to life. It's the coolest thing in the world that I have someone in my corner that I can like take this thing in my brain and they can see it too.
Mhm.
That's like one of the coolest things. And they're like, okay, we're gonna get it. And we do. He's been clutch for a lot of things that I need. So
Yeah. Photographers help kind of like convey like the memories or the what you associate a time or a specific like a specific
like a feeling, like that moment.
Yeah.
You remember that feeling in that
right
picture. Like,
yeah and what they do for that feeling, that moment, like that is so integral for like what your own perception of
Yeah.
like how you felt during that
For
or
sure.
like what you remember from it. So shout out to all the amazing photographers just doing amazing work, because there's so many great photographers in the city.
Yeah, that is definitely a craft that gets overlooked.
Yeah.
I got lucky that I know Sammer and Roger because I get to share their perspectives on things, which helps me be a better artist, because there's etiquette to talking to photographers and, you know, having someone do a service for you, and I don't think that we're all as a city very good with that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're still very new on like the do's and don'ts of
Yeah.
working with other artists in that nature, but I
Right.
know we're working on it as a
Yeah.
city. So
Totally. We're still just kind of getting over the giving producers credit
Yeah.
era.
Yep.
But now it's about giving the photography credit.
Yep.
'Cause that's really important.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about some of the subject matter in your music.
let's get it.
Yeah, let's do it. So
That means another beer.
right, yeah, good timing. So it's a lot of like, I mean, and a lot of like your lyrical style. A lot of it gets thrown in people's faces when they listen to your songs. What are like, so specifically, like we can start with Parallels. Like what were it like? How would you say like it was? Like what statement did it make about Shle Berry?
I would say that Yellow Streak was like an experiment. It was like can I make a project and can I market it? I was just like, let's just see if I can like do that. So we made sure we had a release show, all the promo, all the pictures, like everything was very planned and curated. Everything was on purpose. Everything had a point.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, now that I know how to do it, we got to do it better. So it was just more of it was a stepping stone, but it was like, I just wanted to show people that I belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I accomplished that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Totally.
Probably a lot more than I had planned.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Absolutely. And like, what are like, I guess, some of the other songs on the EP? Just like, if like you wouldn't mind kind of breaking down like just like what each song kind of like is, like what it says.
So we start with Shoot Me Down, which was produced by Renz Young. Shout out Renz Young if you need beats. And as soon as I heard that beat, I knew that it was an intro song. There was just something about the build-up in the beginning that just gave me like an intro vibe. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just gotta like set the tone for the whole EP with this one song. And it was just pretty much saying, you know, they've been trying to shoot me down, but they don't see what I see. Like, if you saw what the visions I had, you'd support me, if that made sense. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds very, like okay, I roll, but, like...
Hey, but that's why it's important. That's why some people write down their dreams, something of which I should start doing.
It's fun. It's fun. So Shoot Me Down was more of, like a summary, I guess you could say, in a lot of ways. Fall For You was fun because I pretty much sing that entire song. And I do dabble in singing. I'm not a singer by any means, but I liked that it gave a different side artistically for me. So that's kind of why I put that one on there, because no one's really... I guess Blueberries I sing the whole time, but that's more of like a poppy, whatever. Sugar Free, I had that beat from Mike Regal for like over a year. Yeah. And when I heard it, I was like, this is going to be a hit. I just knew, like, the beat spoke to me, and I started putting so much pressure on myself writing it. I was like, it's got to be good. Mm-hmm. It's got to be good. And I just kept procrastinating because I was like, again, putting pressure on it. And don't do that. It's the worst thing ever. Do not put pressure to, like, make a hit, because if anyone knew how, everyone would do it. There's no formula. Mm-hmm. But I didn't finish writing Sugar Free until like a week before I submitted it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I was just like not satisfied ever. And then it was kind of like, okay, how do I come in super heavy on this song? And that line that I open with, I was like, I think that's a good way to open this song. I think it'll make people listen.
Right. It turns heads.
It does.
Definitely.
It does. Very unapologetic song, which I feel like I need every now and then, because I can be the trying to sing, trying to steal your girl vibe at times. Yeah. But I'm like, no, I can rap a little bit. Yeah. Like, guys, don't forget.
I wear a couple more hats.
Yeah. Summer's Eve. My grandmother passed away last summer, and her name was Evelyn, hence the Eve. And the title pretty much is like Summer's like ownership of her, because at that point that's kind of what that was. That was probably one of the hardest songs I've ever had to write. Her and I did not end on good terms, and I have to deal with that. But when you are like feeling pain, and we all, you know, deal with pain differently. Our coping mechanisms are obviously all different. But to put it in like as a metaphor, it's like taking a wound and just like continuously sticking like a pencil in it. Yeah. That's how it felt to write that song. It was like, I can't let this wound close because I have to allow myself to feel it to like write it. Yeah. I cried a lot writing that song because it's like, why did I wait until her passing to like say those things, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you like,
Right.
I have to deal with that guilt. But I skip it every time I listen to Parallels. I
Really?
skip that song. I don't even listen to it because I went and I watched a bunch of like old VHS tapes of her and I,
Yeah.
which was also very painful. I was like, I gotta find a clip to like put in this song to like give it more authenticity.
Yeah.
And she's the first thing that you hear on the song is my grandmother. So I'm like, yeah, I can't listen to it. It's cool. That song is just very, very special to me. Shout out Waterlow. I don't know how to pronounce that producer's name, but that beat spoke to me, man, and that was like the perfect song to put on it. And then I end it with Favorite, which ended up being one of my favorites. Yeah.
Right.
So Fall for You and Favorite I had written like in January of last year. And I didn't really have any plan for them, but I liked them enough that I like put them to the side and I wasn't ready to release them. Like I think they have like a bigger purpose. And then when I started writing Parallels and I started getting some things together, I was like, oh, these would sound pretty cohesive on here.
Yeah.
And I think I gave a little bit of everything, but I still feel like it still landed well collectively.
Sure.
At the moment, I mix and mastered the whole thing, which is such a pain in the ass. If you ever have to mix or master a song, is one thing, but then to do it to 5 songs and you need them all to kind of sound similar.
Yeah, right.
That's a beast all on its own. But
Well, I've never put out an album. Wouldn't know. One day when
just drop a mixtape.
one day when the Ben
Mr.
Slowey,
Nice Guy
yeah, when the
mixtape?
Nice Guy mixtape comes out, I'll let y'all know. But well, thank you for sharing all those like the thematic material behind all those songs, because like like I've always seen you as I think that the key word you used was unapologetic, and
That's one thing I'm always, at least in music,
yeah.
it
But
gave me that platform to do that.
yeah, and that's something that like I've since meeting you and learning who you are as an artist, like that's a great word to just put to you. And it's challenging to be that when we have so much societal adversity to overcome.
Oh, absolutely. And that pushed it to be that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, fuck you and you and you.
Right. It's like it's Fuck the Police by NWA.
Yeah, it's just like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I used to definitely be afraid of like coming out, even though everyone knew I was gay before I knew I was gay. It was just kind of like, I didn't feel like I got to own that experience because everyone kind of knew already. So I think I like pushed it away more. I was like, no, because I don't want these people to be right about me.
Yeah, right.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, because then it's like you have to give them that like
satisfaction
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
being right. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not gay. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And definitely was. Stuff like that. Being a woman is also a thing I talk about a lot, which can be confusing for people because I do have very like masculine traits. I dress like a boy. I would rather drink beer over wine. Like I do a lot of like masculine things. So I
Yeah.
think people get confused when I'm very, I vouch for women and I still get treated like one a lot of the times. Because I like things that are very male dominated. I played basketball for 12 years. Anytime I ever played a guy, there was always like a point to be proven for them. Like, I'm not letting this chick beat me.
I'll tell you for when you bust my ass, because I'm so bad at basketball.
But you're honest about that. So
Yeah.
that's different. Like playing people like you are like, it's so different. But there's people that really get in their chest about, and it's because of society. Like we put that on like, oh, you kick like a girl, you hit like a girl, you play basketball like a girl. Like it's such a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I remember just like, I am not gonna be that. So I would play with boys. I would rough them up. I would push them down. I had a statement to prove at that point. I'm like, I'm not a chump.
We were all raised with that though too. I remember, it's that constantly having to prove that masculinity from a young age.
Yes. And that's pushed on you guys. Like I get that, definitely.
Yeah.
And then entering the rap scene, also very male dominated, and it's like we don't call Drake or J. Cole or Kendrick male rappers. We just call them rappers, right? But when we're talking about women in the rap industry, we say female rappers or women MCs. Like, we have to make that distinction. That shit bothers the fuck out of me. I can't really deal with it.
Yeah, that's something that that is something that I've like I never even realized that until like
we don't, because it just seems so normal.
Yeah, until someone points it out, it's like, fuck, you're absolutely right. Because then A, you're reduced to, you know, the confines of your gender.
Yes.
And B, there's also that kind of implication that's made that like women are constantly like that are by default in competition.
Yes.
With each other.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Mo City for when we did a podcast a couple weeks ago. He like talked specifically on that issue. But it's true because it's like people comparing Beyonce and Rihanna all the time, and that's something like
or like the Nicki Minaj versus Cardi B.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck cares? Who cares?
Right? Like they
can coexist.
Yeah,
it's fine.
they can both be fucking successful.
Yeah.
And like I've heard people that are like, oh, like why do like women care so much like when like they're referred to as females, and
I fucking hate that word.
Yeah, and
because it's derogatory.
Yeah.
Because it's always used in that sense. When do you ever hear women saying, "Yeah, I was hanging out with this male last night, and we were, you know, me and my girls were talking about this male that I had over." You never hear that context in the opposite, ever. You can always replace female with like bitch.
Right.
Always.
Which is commonly
females, bitches, right? Like that's how it always comes across to me. And then people are like, "Oh, but that's what you are." You're right, but then use male in the same context. If you use both in the same context, I won't say shit.
And they're like, "No, it's weird."
It is weird because you don't hear it. You don't hear it said like that. Oh my god, we could have a whole episode on stuff like that.
Love and Fear are direct. They're direct forces in the sense of what we fear it because it's unfamiliar to us or it's not normal to us.
Yes.
Or we have love for something because we have a attachment to it. It's what we're used to. It's the norm. It's like where we feel comfortable.
Yep.
But man, like we're in this age of society where a lot of those norms are in defiance right now, and rightfully so. So on this topic, and I know like there's many like really there's many very successful like women recording artists that are that have infiltrated Milwaukee's music scene. So it's one thing to have a discussion about that, like the challenges that women face in the music industry, which is something that is important to discuss, but just specifically as a gay woman.
It sucks. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You can, and also being biracial, I just never fit in quite well. It was like I wasn't a black kid, but I wasn't a white kid. I wasn't really a girl, but I also really wasn't a boy. And then it was like I was very confused about my sexuality, and it was just like loner city, dude. Loner city. I didn't fuck with anybody because I always felt like you're not gonna understand. So I'm not gonna explain it to you.
Right.
You don't even care to hear it. You're just curious because you want to tell your friends. You want to gossip.
Yeah.
You don't really care.
Right.
And I'd say within the past like decade, I know that sounds like I'm old as fuck. I guess I kind of am. I'm going to turn 28 this year. So like, probably when I turned 21, 22, it was kind of like, what I'm trapped in this cage.
Yeah.
And I just have to free myself and just accept me for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And people that really, really loved me stuck around, and the people that didn't want to, it's like, okay, I didn't need it. I didn't need that anyway.
Yeah.
Which is a hard pill to swallow,
Right.
but that's definitely why I have this like fuck you, unapologetic attitude. Cause it's like I've been through some shit that like there's no room for like you judging me anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause if you're gonna,
And it's a
then you don't
common.
have to listen to my shit. That's cool.
And it's a common mindset to have too these days. But it's a direct product of that just society of judgment and that.
And back to your fear.
Right,
stuff.
the fear,
Yeah.
and also like just our. And I think that this is why there's so much like resistance to like things changing these days, and like why so many people are like, oh no, if there's only two genders, or like, oh no, like marriage is saved between a man and a woman, or.
And it's like, but says who?
Right. Yeah.
Says fucking who?
Yeah. It's
If
like,
I don't believe in God, says who?
Yeah.
Because I don't. I believe in the universe and like balance, and I like understand that kind of stuff. But like, says who?
Right. Yeah.
Fucking says who?
Exactly. And it's like even if you. It's like, and even if there was a higher power that you believe would be in control, like it always kind of made sense to me where, like, you know, that higher power created us for us all to help each other out and to like give each other like that love and make the world a better place. And that's at least how I consciously try to live every single day. But
I think religion had good intentions when it started, but it ended up becoming this thing that is used to like manipulate.
yeah,
And I don't like that. Because then
Yeah.
it's like we live by these rules that were made in
thousands
of years ago, but if, God forbid, my encyclopedia is a couple months old, it's irrelevant. But we still use this book to judge everyone that is so long
Yeah.
ago. Like, we adapted, we evolved.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to keep living by this book that was written in... I don't know the date.
It's like if you were like that's funny you say that, because it's like if you use like a textbook for school that's like it was written like 50 years ago, that shit is
But,
so
that's
outdated.
irrelevant. We can't use this information
Yeah,
anymore.
that shit's so obsolete, and you have to get the latest version and get like
Always.
yeah. But it's like, okay, then why are we still adhering to?
Like, why is it so hard to say that maybe we were wrong?
Mm-hmm. Because people don't, because that is people admitting vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
That's vulnerability being exposed.
Yeah.
And man, people don't like that
They
still.
don't.
They still don't
They
like
don't.
that.
And people think that if it's not familiar, that it's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. Gotta get my hat correctly. Yeah. Shle Berry.
Stupid, bro.
What keeps you up at night?
Jesus. Letting people down.
Letting people down. Retweet. What puts you to sleep?
Smoking. Unfortunately.
Hey.
It's my only thing that helps.
That's
Anxiety is a motherfucker, I swear.
Well, shit, that's a good remedy for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show.
Appreciate you, Ben.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Remember to check out Shle Berry on all streaming platforms. You got her EP Parallels, her EP Yellow Streak.
New music on the way.
New music is on the way.
You kind of know about it.
Yeah,
do.
of course. Do you have any shows coming up?
Canny Fest.
Canny Fest.
May 18th.
May 18th. That's coming up.
It is. And Jen's gonna be on it. Jen Wren.
Oh yeah.
That's my boy. Shout out, Jen.
Thank you for watching, Mr. Nice Guy. We'll see you next time.